Last class you have been discussed the various types of resistive transducers, especially we have been discussed on RTD. So what is meant by RTD? Resistance temperature detector. The abbreviation for RTD is resistance temperature detector. Okay. What are the specifications for RTD? The commercially available RTDs are PT100 and PT1000. For both, PT means platinum metal, 100 means resistance at 100 degrees Celsius. The another important specifications for RTD are the temperature coefficient of the metal. Say platinum metal has the temperature coefficient of resistance value is 0.00382 to 0.004 ohms per degree Celsius. Okay. Another important specification is dissipation constant. Dissipation constant of the RTD. So, what is meant by dissipation constant? Dissipation constant is means how much heat can be additionally evolved from the RTD sensing element. RTD sensing element. Hello. Okay. The dissipation constant, how much heat the sensing portion of the element, the platinum element, can evolve the additional heat. So normally we excite the RTD, we connect the RTD in Wheatstone bridge, we give 5 volt excitation. Through that, the normal current flows through the RTD varying from 2 milliampere to 20 milliampere. If we pass 2 milliampere current through the RTD element, it has the resistance, say at 100 degrees Celsius, RTD resistance is 140 ohm. If we consider 0.004 ohms per degree Celsius as the temperature coefficient. Okay, so if we consider 0.4004 ohms per degree Celsius is the coefficient of resistance temperature, then the RTD shows 140 ohms at 100 degrees Celsius. When RTD temperature is 100 degrees Celsius, the resistance is 140 ohm. When we pass 2 milliampere current, let's see, when we pass 2 milliampere current, say when current through the RTD is 2 milliampere, the power dissipation I square R, say consider here we consider the temperature coefficient of resistance is 0.00385 ohms per degree Celsius. In that case, so I square, I is 2 milliampere, I square R is, this is R, this is I. So current through the RTD element is I, that is 2 milliampere, I square into R, we get 0.55 milliwatt. So the specification of the RTD is given as 50 milliwatt per degree Celsius. This is called dissipation constant, PD, dissipation constant of the RTD. So that is the formula here. So dissipation constant. First, let us calculate the power. How much power evolved dissipated from the element. So that will give 0.55 milliwatt. So here the self-heating error of RTD is power divided by dissipation constant. So power divided by dissipation constant, which will give 0.01 degrees Celsius additional to the 138.5 ohm. So this added with this value. So okay. So the 100 degrees Celsius is the original temperature. So plus 0.01 degrees Celsius is added with that. So the 0.01 degrees Celsius is the error. 0.01 degrees Celsius is the error. That error is called self-heating error of RTD. Suppose if we pass 20 milliampere, normally ranging from the excitation current varying from 2 milliampere to 20 milliampere. Now let's substitute here. Let us calculate the power of the RTD. So power equal to 0.02, that is 20 milliampere square into 138.5 ohm. So we'll get 55.4 milliwatt. So if you substitute here, the error becomes 1.108 degrees Celsius. 1.108 degree Celsius, right? So what from this, what we can infer? So from this calculation, if we excite with more current, more dissipation, more temperature, dissipation error is occur in the measurement. So how to reduce this error? Go for choosing the less current excitation. 5 volt is constant voltage, but we have to provide this circuitry so that the current passing through the RTD element should be less value. If you go for a higher excitation, error will be more. So this is very important specification. First specification is temperature coefficient of RTD, that is 0.0038 to 0.004. Next is self-heating error, that is dissipation constant. Okay, dissipation constant. Next is sensitivity of RTD. Sensitivity is very simple. Sensitivity of RTD varies from 0.38 ohms per degree Celsius to 0.0 ohms per degree Celsius to 0.4, varying from 0.4 ohms per degree Celsius. 0.4 ohms per degree Celsius. We also calculated the resistance of RTD for various degrees Celsius. We last class we discussed. We calculated from 30 degree, 50 degree, 100 degree, 150 degree, 200 degree. So for various value. Actually, RTD's initial nominal resistance is 100 ohm. 100 ohm at 0 degree Celsius. Okay. So PT100 specification. PT100 platinum element, 100 ohms will give 100 ohms at 0 degree Celsius. 100 ohm at 0 degree Celsius. Next is dissipation constant. Another specification is sensitivity of PT100. Sensitivity means it is nothing but 0.38 ohms per degree Celsius to 0.4 ohms. It's very simple. You can easily calculate the output of the RTD. Just you consider for theoretical calculation, sensitivity is 0.4 ohms per degree Celsius. This you don't forget. 0.4 ohms per degree Celsius. Suppose if you want to calculate 30 degrees Celsius, 30 into 0.4, 12 ohms. So just 12 plus 100 ohms. 112 ohms at 30 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature at 50 degrees Celsius? 50 into 0.4, 20 ohms. So 20 plus 100, initially 100 is there. So 120 ohm output from the RTD. This is very simple. Please remember these three parameters: alpha value, then dissipation constant, then how to calculate power dissipation, then your sensitivity 0.4, 0.38 to 0.4. Normally take to easily calculate, just take 0.4. Okay. Let us design the RTD circuitry using the simple design is design a temperature transmitter circuit for the following specifications. What are the specifications? Sensor is PT100. Input is 0 to 200 degrees Celsius. Output is first we design for 0 to 5 volt. Then we design for 1 to 5 volt. There are two. Why I will tell the reason why we go for 0 to 5 volt and why we go for 1 volt to 5 volt. Okay. So for this specification, we have to calculate the output value. First we calculate for voltage, then we go for next stage. This next stage is very simple. Simply use op-amp based voltage to current converter that will convert. Okay. Before going to discussion, there are standard signals, instrumentation standard signals. For voltage 0 to 5 volt, 0 to 5 volt is the voltage signal. Normally 0 to 5 volt or 0 to 10 volt. Okay. Similarly, the instrumentation standard, this is normal range, but instrumentation standard is 1 to 5 volt. 1 to 5 volt for voltage signal. For current signal, 4 to 20 milliampere. Normally go for 4 to 20 milliampere for longer range. Transmission from one place to another place. The distance may be very long, even a kilometer or 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer. So for long range transmission, voltage signal is not preferable. Is not preferable using long range transmission, because if you pass voltage, it will drop in the cable. Okay, cable has some small resistance, so the voltage is dropped across the resistance. Whereas if you pass the current signal in series circuit, current signal is preferable. Okay, because you know in series circuit current is constant, but in parallel circuit current is variable. Okay, in parallel circuit each branch resistance has the different currents, different voltage also. Okay, in series circuit voltage is varying from one place to another place. Okay, so the standard current signal is 24 to 20 milliamp. Similarly, pneumatic signal, a few years back, some 2 decades back, our instrumentation system in industry use 3 to 15 psi. Pneumatic signal 3 to 15 psi. This is the pneumatic signal we are using in the industries. Okay, 3 to 15. So voltage signal, the standard instrumentation voltage signal is 1 to 5 volt. Standard instrumentation current signal is 4 to 20 milliampere. Standard pneumatic signal is 3 to 15 psi. Then one more specification is very important, that is instrumentation impedance, resistance, the instrumentation standard, that is 250 ohm. Actually, you know the standard values of resistances. What are the standard values of resistance available in the laboratories? 1 ohm, 10 ohm, 20, not 20, 22 ohm. Similarly, 200 ohm, 200 ohm. Then next is 220 ohm, not 250 ohm. So 250 ohm resistor is not available in the normal resistances in the laboratory standards. So this 250 ohm is only this is a special resistance, especially for industrial measurement applications. Okay, 250 ohm. So if you ask 250 ohm resistor in our laboratory, they won't give, because they cannot give. That value is not available in the standard resistance ranges. Why for this 250 ohm? Suppose if I convert 1 volt, if I get 1 volt output from the voltage signal, so if you use this resistance, you can convert 4 milliampere. So voltage divided by R, V by R equal to what? I. Say V is 1 volt, R is 250 ohm. So what do you get? 1 volt by 250 ohm will give 4 milliampere. Similarly, 5 volt. 5 volt you substitute here. 5 volt divided by 250 ohm, that will give 20 milliampere. Okay. So to convert the standard voltage signal to standard current signal, we use the standard instrumentation resistor, standard instrumentation resistor standard. Understand? First, we design for this range, input range, what will be the, we have to design for 0 degree, when 0 degree Celsius in the RTD, process temperature 0 degree Celsius, we should get 1 volt. When process temperature is 200 degrees Celsius, we should get 5 volt. Clear? So this is the design calculation. First, we connect the RTD here. So RTD is a PT100. So what is when at, you see, at 0 degree Celsius, at 0 degree Celsius, we have to calculate del V. So del V is Wheatstone bridge output. Then this is V. V naught is, this is del V naught. This is V naught. So at this stage, at 0 degrees Celsius, what is V naught? Say at 0 degrees Celsius, what is RTD resistance? RTD resistance is 100 ohm. So this is 100 ohm plus del R. Del R is increased resistance due to temperature. So at 0 degrees Celsius, del R is 0, only 100 ohm. So initially we should use, say, the excitation is 5 volt. Excitation is 5 volt. So this values, okay. So here, you have to choose these resistance values. These resistance values equal to the normal resistance value of RTD. So here also choose 100 ohm, 100 ohm. So all 100 ohms. Okay. So when all the branch resistance are 100 ohms, what is the del V naught? You go here, del V naught. This R is 100 ohm. So all this del R is 0 for, del R is 0 for at 0 degrees Celsius. At 0 degrees Celsius, del V naught equal to R plus del R divided by 2R plus del R. See, this is very simple. This is R plus del R. These are all R. So R plus del R divided by R plus 2R plus del R minus R by R. R by 2R. That is 1 by 2. This you know that. So you simply substitute 100 by 200 minus 1 by 2 into 5 volt excitation. 5 volt excitation. What do you get here? Suppose 0 at 0 degrees Celsius, the bridge is balanced. So 0 volt. We'll be getting 0 volt. Clear? Now at 100 degrees Celsius, at 100 degrees Celsius, at 100 degrees Celsius, what is What is resistance of RTD? If you consider sensitivity of RTD is 0.4 ohms per degree Celsius, 0.4 ohms per degree Celsius, then 100 into 0.4, 40 ohm. So 140 ohm at 100 degrees Celsius, I'm sorry, at 100 degrees Celsius, resistance is 140 ohm. 140 ohm. Resistance is 140 ohm. Now let us calculate the del V naught at 100 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius or 200 degrees Celsius. Here the design is 200 degrees Celsius, right? Let us do first. So 140 ohm. Here put 140 ohm. Sorry. Let us calculate for 200 degrees Celsius. At 200 degrees Celsius, what is the resistance? 180 ohm. 180 ohm. So what is the del V naught at 180 ohm? You just substitute here 100 plus 180 or 80. Okay, 80. The 80 is the del R. Okay, 80 divided by 280. That is 200 plus 80. So 100 plus 80, 200 plus 80. If you calculate like this, what do you get? 180 divided by 280. 180 divided by 280. Please calculate and tell me, anyone? Ashwant is late. So tell me. Please calculate. Tell me the answer. Okay, let me do it. 180 divided by 280 minus 0.5 into 5. 180 divided by 280 minus 0.645. 0.6425 minus 0.5, 0.1425. Okay, 0.1425 into 5. 0.7125. Very good. Thank you. 0.7125. Okay, 0.714. Okay, good. So we get 0.712 or 4. So at 200 degrees Celsius, del V naught is 0.714. 0.714. Actually, we should get 5 volt. We should get 5 volt output at 200 degrees Celsius. Okay. For 0 degrees Celsius, del V naught is 0. Okay. 0 degrees Celsius, this del V naught is 0. This del V naught is 0. Whereas for 200 degrees Celsius, the del V naught is 0.714. Okay. But we should get the voltage output. Voltage output here, sorry, this is the final voltage output. When 0 degrees Celsius, we should get 1 volt. 1 volt. For 200 degrees Celsius, we should get 5 volt. We should get 5 volt. Okay. But at 0 degrees Celsius, this is nothing but a gain amplifier, differential gain amplifier. So differential amplifier. This is differential amplifier. So differential amplifier. So we have to design whatever gain we have this, the input is 0, output is normally 0. Say when 0 degrees Celsius, input to the differential amplifier, output from the virtual is 0 volt. So whatever may be the gain here, the output also 0. Okay, understand or not? Okay, but we have to calculate the gain for, say, whatever the gain, when input is 0, output is 0. Then how do you get 1 volt output here for 0 degrees Celsius? Anybody in the chat window? No problem. I will tell. This is nothing but adder. You are studying operational amplifier, right? So this is simple adder. Okay. So we should add minus 1 volt at this terminal. So just to connect this to here. So at 0 degrees Celsius, this V naught is 0. So these are all equal resistance or say 1K. All are 1K. Just adder only. R equal to 1K. So if we just give 0 volt to the adder, minus 1 is added to the inverting amplifier, terminal. So minus added with this, so you will get 1 volt. So understand or not? Right. Next is at 200 degrees Celsius, we should get 5 volt. Already we are adding 1 volt at this terminal. Anybody tell me what will be the voltage should come at this junction? At this junction, here 5 volt. This is adder. 1 volt is we are adding. Please tell me in the chat window what will be the voltage output should be available here when the temperature is 200 degrees Celsius. The temperature is 200 degrees Celsius. Anybody? Valamanigandan. Could you hear me? Please calculate how much voltage should be available at the differential amplifier output. Here we should get 5 volt. We have to subtract 1 volt from here. So at 200 degrees Celsius, the wrong 200 degrees Celsius. This is minus means here also minus only coming because differential amplifier. The output why I am putting minus 1 is that is added with minus, so it becomes 1 volt. Okay, so 4 volt we should get at this junction. Okay, 4 volt. Understand? So when 200 degrees Celsius is the RTD temperature, this Wheatstone bridge output is 0.714. So the differential amplifier output should be 4. so that 4 plus 1 becomes 5 volt here. Can you tell me what will be the gain of the how much gain should be designed here in the differential amplifier? So the output of the differential amplifier should be 4 volt, so that we get finally 5 volt output. Final output is 5 volt. Understand? 5 volt output. So V0 should be 4 volt from the gain amplifier. 4 volt. Input to the gain amplifier, differential amplifier is, let us connect the circuit. We connect this. So now the differential amplifier, the visual bridge output is 0.714. That is input to the differential amplifier is 0.714. Then what should be the output is 4 volt. What should be the gain? Okay, so gain is 4 volt divided by 0.714. 0.714. 0.714. Very good. Good, Vignesh. 0.8. Okay, 0.8. 0.8. So for 0.8 gain, what is gain of this differential amplifier? Nothing but RF by R1 or R. These are all R. So RF by R or R1. RF by R should be 0.8. Sorry, 0.8. Oh, all right. Wrong calculation, I think. 4 volt divided by 4 volt divided by 0.714. 5.6. 5.6. The gain is 5.6. See, numerator is large, denominator is small. Okay, denominator is small. How it becomes a fraction 0.8? This is wrong. Okay, 5.6 is the gain. Okay, 5.6 is the gain. So we have to design gain equal to RF by R. RF by R or R1, whatever maybe you can take. RF by R equal to 5.6. So what is RF? RF should be 5.6 times R. Now we have to choose this R. Choose R equal to 1K. Choose R equal to 1K. Then what will be RF? 5.6K. So which is nearer to 5.6K? 5.6K. Or you can exactly take a 5.6K resistance. Okay, 5.6 resistance. Or nearer to value, or you can take a choose 5.6K. Okay, now go to here. RF should be 5.6. 5.6K. When we place the feedback resistance as 5.6K, same should be substituted here. The same value of the resistance should be connected in the grounded terminal. Otherwise, the output will be floating. One more information I will tell you. See, a amplifier is here. Say one amplifier. Input is 1 volt. Okay, input is 1 volt. Gain is 100. Gain is 100. Anybody tell in the chat window what will be the output? Say operational amplifier. Input is 1 volt. Gain is 100. What will be the output? Santosh, what will be the output? 100. Is it possible? Anybody else? How much? Balamanigandan, 100. Santosh, 100. See, our excitation to the APAM is plus 12 minus 12 or plus 15 minus 15. Maximum plus 15 minus 15 only we excite the APAM. Okay. So 1 volt if you apply 100 volt is impossible. You will get only V saturation. V saturation. Up to we can get V saturation only. Okay. So what is V saturation? VCC minus 1. If you take 12 volt plus 12 and minus 12, then VCC equal to plus 12 or minus 12. V saturation equal to VCC. V saturation equal to VCC minus 1. Okay. So we may not get 100 volt from this op-amp. So very important concept. We will get maximum of. So what do you mean by actually? The op-amp characteristics is this is the linear portion, this is saturation, this is negative portion saturation, this is plus V saturation, plus V saturation, this is minus V saturation, minus V saturation. So this is the linear portion. We are utilizing the op-amp for all the linear applications. Say gain amplifier, inverting amplifier, differentiator, integrator. For all application, we are using this linear portion only. So we can able to get the maximum output of plus V saturation and minus V saturation. We may not able to get beyond the value because beyond that we will get constant only. So when suppose the gain is 1 volt. Okay, sorry, gain is 100. Input is 1 volt. We will get only plus V saturation. That is how much? 12 volt, then 11 volt only we will get. If in other case, if you apply input is 1 millivolt, 1 millivolt, output is 100 millivolt. So 100 millivolt is possible. Okay, so 100 millivolt. So you can operate the operational amplifier only in the linear region only. Okay, there are two more applications in the operational amplifier that that applications are symmetrical. Okay, symmetrical and multivibrators. These two are non-linear application of operational amplifier. Linear application of operational amplifiers are gain amplifier, inverting amplifier, non-inverting amplifier, differential amplifier. Almost all are called, all are not linear applications. Understand? So when 200 degrees Celsius is applied here, 0.714. So 0.714 gain is 5.6. So you will get a 4 volt output here. So 4 plus 1, you will get 5 volt output. This is the simple, very important design. This will be frequently asked in the examination. Okay. Next is this is about this design. Next is we converted 1 volt to 5 volt. So what is the next stage? We have to convert the 1 to 5 volt into 4 to 20 milliampere. For that, you connect one voltage to current amplifier, V to I converter. You please refer your LIC concept. So in that you will get the circuit for V to I converter. So in the V to I converter, there is a resistance. We have to provide the load resistance of 250 ohm So if you give 1 volt here, you will get 4 milliampere. So if you connect, when you get to 5 volt here, you will get 20 milliampere. Because 1 volt divided by 250 ohm, 4 milliampere. 5 volt divided by 250 ohm, 20 milliampere. Understand? So this is the entire design. This is very important transmitter. So this end can be connected to any distance, because the output is in the form of current. Okay. You can ask me, instead of 0 to 5 volt, why, sir, we are using 1 volt to 5 volt as well as 4 to 20 milliampere, right? First, we discuss about why the industrial instrumentation standards use 1 to 5 volt. That is to differentiate dead, okay, live dead and sensor dead, okay, to identify the difference between live dead and the sensor head. That means, I will tell you. So this is the industrial measurement system, total industrial measurement system. In that, assume this is the up to the V2I converter. We have to up to Wheatstone bridge, differential amplifier added, and V2I converter stage. This is inside the transmitter room, the process. This is near to the process, temperature. So this is RTD immersed in the process. Okay, RTD immersed in the process. If we convert this temperature range from 0 to 200 degrees Celsius as 0 to 5 volt here, suppose, assume 0 to 5 volt without this adder, assume without this adder, whatever we are getting from the differential amplifier 0 to 5 volt directly transmitted to the V2I converter. So at 0 volt input to the V2I converter, output is 0 milliampere. When we give 5 volt input to this, 20 milliampere we are getting here. Okay. Suppose the cable, the transmission cable cuts. When we transmit from process to longer distance to the control room, so where we are monitoring the temperature of the process, in that place, say, assume we are monitoring here, say this is in the control room. Okay, this is in the control room, control panel. We are going to monitor the RTD temperature in the control room. So for that, we are putting the signal conditioning circuits like differential amplifier, some adder and everything. So suppose if we directly transmit 0 to 5 volt, so here what happened? The display shows 0 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, 0 degrees Celsius when the input of the RTD temperature is 0. Suppose there is a cut in the wire, in the cable, in the longer cable. What it will show? In the cut itself, this will show 0. Suppose the RTD fails. This is a real live dead. So the RTD itself fails. So when RTD itself fails, what is the output available at the control room? Then also 0 only we are getting. Okay. So instead of avoiding suppose if the sensor fails, we are getting 0, right? To avoid such error, we are having the range of 1 to 5 volt. Even when temperature 0 degrees Celsius, we get 1 volt at this junction. So that 1 volt at this junction, we are converting 4 milliampere here. So if RTD fails, we get 0 milliampere current because entirely 0. Okay. So when RTD fails, if the RTD fails, there won't be any signal available here. So to avoid the failure of instrument and cutting the troubleshooting in the cable circuits or grounding of the cables, to identify these problems, we are having a range of 1 to 5 volt instead of 0 to 5 volt. If we have the transmission range 0 to 5 volt, even the fail, when the sensor fails or the wire cut, there is a cut in the cable, we get 0. So we may not be able to identify that 0 represents the 0 degrees Celsius or not. We may not identify. I hope you understand this concept, right? Understand? Right. That's why in instrumentation industries, they have the different standards. So voltage standard, okay, for voltage standard 1 to 5 volt, current standard 4 to 20 milliampere. Similarly, pressure signal 0. If we have the range from 0 to 15 psi, when the sensor fails, even then we get 0 psi only. If sensor is exactly working at 0 pressure, then also we will get 0 psi. Okay, to avoid such confusion, we have a minimum range 3 to 15 psi. So this is about RTD signal conditioning circuit. Next we move to thermistors. Okay. So thermistors are called thermally sensitive resistors. Thermally sensitive resistors. These are all very cheap and very small in size transducer. Very small in size transducer. Okay. So there are many shapes available in thermistors. The size of the thermistors vary from 2 mm to 5 mm. See imagine the size 2 mm to 3 mm like a strain gauge. So we can have our own shapes and sizes. So this is called beads shape. You know, bead, the girls money. Okay, that is bead shape. Then probe. This is probe shape with the bead with the probe. Okay, so probe shape. The disc shape. Say this may be length. This length is 4 mm or 2 mm, 3 mm length of the leads. So these are lead wire connections where we can detect the change in resistances in all circuits. So this is rod shape. Rod shape. These two are connecting leads of the thermistor. Okay. So this is basically called NTC, negative temperature coefficient. So assume this is this y-axis is RT, output of the thermistor. This is temperature, x-axis temperature. The characteristic curve for the thermistor is exponentially decreasing. Okay. So whereas RTD, the characteristics of RTD, PT100 is like this. So this is 100 ohm at 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. So this is this temperature RT. This is RT. So this is as temperature increases, the resistance also increases proportionally. So it is called PTC, positive temperature coefficient sensor, temperature sensor. This is negative temperature coefficient sensor. So negatively varying. When temperature increases, resistance decreases exponentially. Okay. So the thermistors are made up of semiconductor materials. This is the characteristic equation of a thermistor. RT equal to R naught e power beta times 1 by T minus 1 by T naught. Beta is the thermistor constant. It is normally varying from 3000 to 4000 or 5000. Okay, 3000 to 4500. This is beta is a constant of the semiconductor material, thermistor constant of the semiconductor material. RT is nothing but resistance at particular temperature. R naught is the resistance at initial temperature. Okay, 1 by T is the temperature corresponding to the particular resistance. T naught is the temperature. Okay, so RT is resistance at particular temperature T, and one more thing, when we substitute the temperature value in RTD and other circuits, we can directly substitute degree Celsius. Degree Celsius. Suppose we are having room temperature 30 degrees Celsius. So we can, in RTD equations, instead of temperature value, we can directly substitute. Whereas in, please don't forget, you should convert the degree Celsius into Kelvin. So we should substitute the temperature value in this relation only in Kelvin. So please, this is very important here. So you should convert the degree Celsius value into Kelvin. This is very, very important. Clear? Next is how to calculate the sensitivity of alpha coefficient of your thermistor. So temperature coefficient of thermistor, that is alpha. The alpha value is nothing but 1 by RT into dRT by dt. First you differentiate this with respect to T. Then finally substitute, instead of replace T replace T by T naught. Okay, replace T by T naught. So what do you get if you differentiate this? If you differentiate this, suppose if you differentiate this, what do you get? R dRT by dt equal to R naught is constant, keep R naught itself. Then e to the power of some x is same. When differentiate the exponential, you should get the same. So beta times that 1 by t minus 1 by t minus 1 by t naught. Clear? 1 by t minus 1 by t naught. Then into we have to differentiate the exponential value. Okay, so if you differentiate exponential value, beta is constant, beta times, okay, beta times, what is 1 by t, differential of 1 by t in with respect to t? Minus 1 by t square, minus 1 by t square. Okay, okay. So this is dRT by dt. So what instead of this, you can replace by RT. So replace by RT. So what do you get? RT, that is minus RT beta divided by t naught square, t square, minus RT beta divided by t square. So now you substitute this value here. So instead of dRT by dt, substitute here. So this RT, this denominator RT cancel, minus beta by t, replace this t by t naught. So finally we will get minus beta by t naught square. Okay, this is called alpha value. Suppose beta is 3000. Beta is 3000. Among this range, we are taking some 3000 or 3000. You take this range from 3000 to 4000 or 5000. So 3000 you take beta. So 3000 divided by T naught value, say at room temperature. Room temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. So 30 degrees Celsius plus 273, adding 273 to get Kelvin. So what do you get? 3000 minus 3000 divided by 303, 30 degrees Celsius, 303, or you take temperature, room temperature equal to 27 degrees Celsius, assume for the sake of easily calculated, to calculate easily, T equal to 27 degrees Celsius. So plus 273. So what will get? 3000. Sorry, 300. So 300 into 300 square. So you can 300 cancel. In another 300, 1 0 cancel. So what do you get? 3 divided by 90. So 3 divided by 90. Please calculate and tell me. 3 divided by 90. So around 0.033 per degree degree square. Okay, 0.033. The answer, this value is 0.033. So this is the way of calculating beta. So if you want to calculate beta value for given temperature and resistances, you can use this relation. Suppose, so this I think would have done in the laboratory, okay, to calculate. So this beta value, very simple. From this relation, take you bring this R naught to this side. So RT by R naught, it is coming here. So RT by R naught. The right hand side, e to the power beta into 1 by T minus 1 by T naught. Now apply natural log on both sides. So you will get ln ln of RT by R naught equal to e to the power becomes just beta into this. Ln and e cancel. So beta times this. So beta, you cube beta alone this side. This you take LCM and multiply this. Take LCM T naught. So T naught, denominator T into T naught, numerator T naught minus T. Okay. So that you bring to that side. So you will be getting this value. Very easy manipulation. Let us see one simple problem here. A 10K thermistor. Actually, I forgot to tell here. And 0 degrees Celsius, the thermistor resistance normally in the order of kilo ohms. Say around room temperature, assume 30 degrees Celsius. At room temperature or 25 degrees Celsius, the resistance value is around 10K. Assume 10K. Okay. The range of thermistor is very small, less than maximum. Maximum is 100 degrees Celsius. Maximum is 100 degrees Celsius. Maximum, we may get the maximum value of 100 degrees Celsius. If we exceed the temperature, say 150 degrees Celsius, the resistance becomes 0. At 150 degrees Celsius or more than 150 degrees Celsius, the thermistor shows output is 0 ohm resistor. So we can utilize particular thermistor between 0 and maximum of 100. That is safer side. Maximum of 100. Okay. Maximum of 100. You see the problem here. A 10K thermistor at 25 degrees Celsius has a beta value 3455. If the temperature is increased to 100 degrees Celsius, calculate the resistance at 100 degrees Celsius. Calculate the resistance at 100 degrees Celsius. Use this relation. T naught, we consider T naught equal to 25 degrees Celsius. Immediately convert 25 degrees Celsius into 290 degree Kelvin. Then T equal to 100 degrees Celsius, immediately convert into degree Kelvin, 373 degree Kelvin. Okay, that is just simply adding 273. I already last class I described the various relations, various temporal relations, that is Fahrenheit and degree Celsius and Rankine scale, okay, Kelvin scale. So these 4 scales we already discussed. The simply converting degree Celsius to degree Kelvin is adding 273 degree Kelvin. Okay, 273 coefficient. So when 25 degrees Celsius, resistance is when 25 degrees Celsius, resistance is 10 kilo ohm. So 10 kilo ohm. What will be the resistance when degree temperature is 100 degrees Celsius? Just substitute here. RT equal to R naught is 10 kilo ohm, 10,000 ohm. E to the power beta value 1 by T naught. Sorry, T minus T naught. Okay, T minus T naught. So if you calculate, if you simplify this, you will be getting 973 ohm. Or you can also use this relation, beta relation, beta into T naught minus T into ln RT by R. Either way you can calculate, you will get 973 ohm. Next is the resistance temperature relationship of a thermistor is given by RT equal to A e power B by T. A and B are constant of thermistor. We have to calculate A and B if the thermistor at 0 degrees Celsius is 3980 ohm and 794 ohms at 50 degrees Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius, the thermistor shows 3980, at 50 degrees Celsius 794 ohm resistor. What will be the values for A and B? First, substitute in the relation at 0 degrees Celsius. What is RT? RT equal to 39. This is 0 degrees Celsius 3984. So 3984 equal to A. Here is substitute here. Simply instead of RT, you substitute 3980 ohms. Then T value corresponding temperature 0 degrees Celsius corresponds to 273. So you substitute this value, you keep it as equation number 1. Consider equation number 1. Then again at 50 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius is 273 plus 50, 323 degree Kelvin. So here next same relation is replaced by this 794 ohm equal to A into e power B by T. By dividing 1 and 2, divide 1 by 2, equation number 1 by 2, you will be getting this. While dividing this 2, 3980 divided by 794 will give 5.01. The AA cancel when we divide this together, AA cancel. So 5.01 this division. So e to the power beta, B of the denominator goes to numerator, it is minus. So B of 1 by 273 minus 1 by 323. So if you estimate, simplify this equation, and finally we will beta value 3842. Same beta value 3842, you substitute in the any one relation. Better you substitute this beta value here in equation number 1. Can you tell me, please, quick? Tell me the value of A. Please tell me the value of A. Substitute 3890 equal to A e power B. B value substitute 2842 divided by 273. So what do you get? Please, 3980 into e to the power 2842 divided by 273. Please tell me the value. Nobody. Okay, you calculate and submit in the notes. Next we pass to another problem. The thermistor has beta value 3140 and resistance at 27 degrees Celsius, R suffix 27. resistance at 27 degrees Celsius is 132.14. Very good, Harsha. 132.12. Thank you, Harsha. In another thermistor has a beta value 3140 and R value, R resistance at 27 degrees Celsius is 1050 ohm. The NTC, negative temperature coefficient, is used for temperature measurement. At particular temperature, the resistance is 2330. The resistance is 2330 ohm. What is the temperature? Please tell me. Okay, you calculate sincerely. Thank you for doing assignment. So please calculate yourself. Beta value given, R27 given. This NTC used for temperature measurement. When we get 2330 ohm resistor, what is the temperature? Can you judge? Can you judge the temperature is more than 27 degrees Celsius or less than 27 degrees Celsius? Please tell me. What is the temperature? Say at 27 room temperature, the resistance of the thermistor is around 1 kilo ohm. Around 2.3 kilo ohm resistor, what will be the temperature? Anybody? It is more than 27 degrees Celsius or less than 27 degrees Celsius? Please. Asha, please do it. Or simply tell, Balamanigandan, please simply tell whether the temperature is more than 27 degrees Celsius or it will be less than 27 degrees Celsius. More or less. Good. Less is the good answer, right? So please calculate and tell me the answer. Submit along with the notes. The temperature is around 0 degrees Celsius. So you do it on your own, right? So we can compare the thermocouple, RTD and thermistor in both advantage. This is very, very important comparison. And this can be asked for 4 more questions. So thermocouple output is voltage, RTD output is resistance, thermistor output is also resistance. Advantages of thermocouples are, this is a best example for active transducer. Am I right? Active transducer. Active transducer. So that is called self power. So no need of any signal conditioning circuit. You can easily get the output. Also, very simple connection. Only 2 wire. What is thermocouple? Making 2 junctions. Okay. One is a hot junction, measurable junction. Other one is the connecting lead. That is called reference junction. Okay, or cold junction, reference junction. The cost of the thermocouple, nearly 100 to 200 rupees, maximum 200 rupees. Very, very simple. You can easily make, you can easily solder two alloys. Say, consider J-type thermocouple, the metal combination is iron and constantan. So, iron and constantan. K-type thermocouple, okay, alumal chromal. So, very simple device. Also, it has a large range of temperature measurement. You can use up to 1500 degrees Celsius. So very large. Okay, that's a in this life is rugged in nature. Okay, it never fails easily. Then inexpensive, very cheap. Wide range of wide variety of the physical form means J type, K type, S type, T type. Based on the metal combination, we can classify thermocouples. Wide range, as I said, from minus 200 degrees Celsius to 1500 degrees Celsius. More than 1500 degrees Celsius, the another temperature device is available. Those are called pyrometers. Pyrometers are very high temperature measuring devices. You would have studied in physics pyrometers, right? Then disadvantage is mostly not linear. You see the curve, thermocouple output is not linear. So linear for particular range only. Otherwise, if you consider a long range, it is not linear. One more disadvantage is thermocouple is it requires cold junction compensation, because the thermocouple measures the response, thermocouple response to the difference in temperature. Okay, if we connect a voltmeter here, say this is measuring junction, this is reference junction. Suppose measuring junction is 100 degrees Celsius. The reference junction is room temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. You know the EMF generated from the thermocouple is K times is the gain sensitivity. T temperature at hot junction minus temperature in cold junction. So this suppose this is the hot junction, this is cold junction. So this voltage output available, suppose J type thermocouple, the sensitivity is 52 microvolt per degree Celsius. 52 microvolt per degree Celsius. So 52 microvolt per degree Celsius into the difference only 70. So 52 microvolt into 70 degree only the output responded by the thermocouple. Suppose this room temperature varies. Normally the room temperature is not constant in a range of year. Okay, so in summer season temperature is nearly 50. In winter season the temperature is less than 15 degree, 10 degree. If you go to Uttakamandalam or Ooty, there will be minus degrees also. So the cold junction, the measuring junction varies, it will affect the measurement. Okay, so this is the major drawback with the it requires the cold junction reference. This is the reference junction required. This is not reference required. Reference junction compensation. Reference junction compensation is required. This is not stable. It's not. This is very least sensitive. It's not showing very quickly. Okay. Whereas the RTD is mostly linear, mostly stable, also accurate when compared with the thermocouple, but more linear than thermocouple. Disadvantage with the RTD is expensive. You know, the platinum element is expensive, right? Platinum element is expensive. Clear? So expensive, response is slow. You know, you are measuring temperature in the laboratory using RTD. RTD is slowly showing the output. Okay, you know, the response time of RTD is around 10 seconds or 20 seconds. If you immerse RTD into 100 degree bath, it will show the output after 10 seconds, 10 to 20 seconds only. Okay. So also, if you excite the bridge, Wheatstone bridge with the voltage source, there will be a self-heating error. If you excite with the constant current source, you can avoid self-heating error in the RTD. That is the drawback with the RTD. Then small resistance change, very small change in resistance here, because the temperature coefficient of platinum is 0.0038. That is the resistivity, temperature coefficient resistivity. Also, if you use 2-wire RTD, there will be lead wires error, lead wire error. If you go for 3-wire RTD, somewhat you can avoid lead wire. So for better and accurate measurement, we require 4 wires in the RTD measurement. These are all the disadvantage. Next is thermistor. Thermistors are very fast. Even in our refrigerators, in our air conditioners, the temperature sensitive, very quick. No? So the thermistors are mainly used for home appliances because high output, fast, only two wire, uh, measurement is enough. No need of 3 and 4 wire. Major disadvantage is it requires linearization circuit because as you see here, this is totally non-linear, negative. So non-linear. Also another important disadvantage is only limited range, say from 0 to around 100 ohms or to 120 ohm or 110 ohm or below 110, depend on the resistance value of the thermistor. We normally prefer high resistance value, 10K, 20K, 30K. You know the cost of, cost wise if we see, thermistor cost is 10 rupees, RTD cost is 500 rupees, thermocouple cost is around 100 to 200 rupees. This is the cost wise comparison. So when we go for cost wise less, you can choose thermistor, but it requires linearization circuit that it will include in cost. So fragile means easily damaged. Here also current source required. So self-heating also here. Here also I missed here self-heating error is the another disadvantage in RTD also. Self-heating error, I square R loss. Here also self-heating error is occurring. Okay. So this about temperature measurement, resistance based temperature measurement system. Okay, we will see another type of resistive transducer in the next class.